Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to play some more with the Tau Kaoyang fleet, and in all honesty I hinted at it before, this is a bit of an experimental type of fleet. So it's still anybody's guess on how well this should perform, but the idea is the long drawn out type of match where I'm relying more on my railguns as opposed to the bursty damage potential of the seeker missiles and bombers that normally the 6 cruiser type of fleet would kind of be bringing, or at the very least be relying on quite heavily. So that is the idea here. We're going to be using the custodian as bait to kind of get them in position and of course weather all the damage. And ideally, my Sasays, my emissary light cruisers, will be doing the brunt of the damage, especially if we're doing factions that have like heavy armor on the prow like the Imperial Navy or Orcs, and just enjoy basically doing double damage when they're able to hit the flanks of the ships. That's the thought process at least. It is still experimental, I don't really expect it to perform well, but it is refreshing because it is a different kind of Tau style that's should at least have some practice. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I only know that the Protector fleet and even the Merchant fleet, their main strategy is 6 cruisers. At least that's the most prominent and it's the most powerful. And there should almost be no deviation from that, I want to argue. So with that said, let's give this a try, and at the very least, let's give us some entertaining matches, if that's at all possible. Alright, Space Marines. If they ever get close to me, I am pretty much dead. At least, since I'm utilizing a lot of light cruisers, I am going to be having a hard time trying to keep the boring damage from being a bit of a pain. And the odd thing is, the light cruisers of the Tau are not actually faster than the cruisers or any of the other capitalist ships. It's a little bit of a unique downside to the Tau. It's really only the Orcs and maybe the Mechanicus that suffer from their light cruisers going the same speed as the rest of their fleet. So I don't really have that in my advantage for trying to kite them. But actually I'm doing this wrong too. You should be silent running, silly me. Otherwise, the custodian can still take a lot of the critical hit damage they might be thrown my way, but I'm wondering where I want to position myself, because I was thinking maybe using this gas cloud, but it's so close here, and the Space Marines are likely to be coming at my custodian anyway, that they're just going to naturally run right into my fleet there. And the idea is to try and fight at max range. So at least that way, they don't get run down. They have to burn a lot of resources if they want to pursue them. And I am going to be using the thruster manifold to keep them moving, at least give them some good chance of getting away. Because she has 170 currently. Since Tau all got a buff to their speed, but it did nerf the thruster manifold as a bonus or downside. And emission dissipator works for all the ships, which is the plan here. I think I'm okay with this fleet staying in this gas cloud, or at least being around here, because again, they're going to follow the custodian up into the middle of the map. And then I could probably hound them if I'm so lucky. If I'm lucky. I honestly don't know what to expect with Space Marines, because I am going to rely a lot on critical hits to try and keep them at arm's length. Because they can potentially run me down if I position myself poorly. And speaking of which, this is a bit of an odd, well, what do we have? 4 ships? It could be more of the usual. 3 cruisers. And a battleship maybe with micro warp jump. So we'll get this moving. Grab as many points as possible. Do I want to actually go in the asteroid belt? Because I'm kind of giving away my position a tiny bit, and okay, there's 5 ships.
How may I serve the Tau?
Maybe I don't settle on the gas cloud yet. I use that as a fallback point.
The enemy has seized a
So we'll have
strategic
one
area.
frigate spot there, maybe do a little bit of damage. If I can hinder him early while the sprout, maybe that's a bonus for me. I think this can work out well. Having the gas cloud is a bit of fallback point. I'm trying to remember. Yep, I'm salt running, so I do have extended range. That's kind of what I was wondering about, since I never did bother to check that ahead of time.
As the ethereals wish.
You have seized a strategic area.
So, let's get the lock-on stance at the ready. And get the custodian on the move.
At your orders, Koro.
I don't know what this ship is. We'll reveal in a moment.
How may I serve the Tauba?
And try and take advantage of the fact that they're spread out, although switching a lock-on stance may have been a mistake. May have. And you could join on the fight as well. Cripple this thing quickly,
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
because I don't know what to make of this here. So they are going to board me, that's a bit of a problem, but... Oh yeah, they're all here. Just get moving there. Auger Disruptor doesn't do much yet, but... And I'm doing a bad job again controlling my fleet. They're mostly frigates, though.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
So long as I'm away from the boarding. Oh, what happened here? I burnt all the combustion gauge, that's what I was wondering about. Warren is destroyed. Sadly, my frigates are dying, but this is still potentially good damage. I just burnt all my combustion gauge, which is a bit of a disservice here. This is bad display control. But I do have a railgun. Oh yeah, all your combustion gauge is burnt, so that's what's happened. Okay. Alright, turn around, do damage for me. Ignore these fleets, because we're still kind of in good shape. It's just that the absurd armor they have that's going to be awkward. And yeah, this is not my day already, I could tell you, with me messing up this control as it is. But let me get in range for the repair drones. If anything, maybe I should try and cripple a cruiser. My shots have not been the best. Dodge the seeker missiles and actually contribute with said seeker missile fire.
Honor the teachings of Yola. Drones have identified an enemy target.
So this custodian should be able to deal with this well enough. Let me get my focus fire in.
Accumulated 25% of strategic points.
And just weather the storm at this point. And ideally, have them stop hitting the one ship taking damage.
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points.
Sadly, Auger Disruptor's not working well there. That, they have... Okay, I do have seeker missiles, so let's see about killing this off. And how's the rest of my fleet doing? Because, yeah, I got overwhelmed, but maybe I shouldn't have been as scared as I initially thought, or thought of what I was in, because after all, this thing has no engines now. I may not have done a lot of damage, but I am still getting the critical hits. And with that said, let's grab some points. My opponent's committing kamikaze, which, considering I have more health, that should not work for him the best. Especially with support on the way. I did a terrible job hitting with secret missiles. That was probably my biggest mistake. Never mind the bad control management I've had. Oh, they forgot about a strike cruiser, which is a big deal too. But we're okay now. Despite this being a bit of a mess, I'm in good shape. I managed to manage this a little bit better than my opponent, I suppose. Although, they didn't exactly have the best of equipment, I suppose, either. They had the Auger Disruptor Bomb, which didn't really do a whole lot for them there. I had frigates, I revealed them, and all my ships were silent running as well.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And speaking of which, oh yeah, I have a frigate grabbing a point right now. Or was grabbing a point, and then I regrouped, or told to come back over here. Which is fine. This battle will be over pretty soon. And I have repair drones. This is a perfect position for me, because it gets to repair everyone. Now just hit that thing hard, and, well, they're letting it go. Alright. That was a terrible display for me. I'm not happy with that crisis management. But that is the risk of at least trying to engage on multiple fronts like that. And surprisingly, it went pretty well for me. My opponent did have the boarding, they had the lances, but I guess they didn't lightning strike. They tried to get the broadside boarding in, and I don't think the other cruisers got it. They do have the levels for all their skills, so I'm just wondering what better alternatives could there have been. Because yeah, they even have extended range here, interestingly enough. They are all They are all lances, so I guess there is some method to this to allow your lances to shoot at max range. Especially when I'm running away, but I don't think they were honestly expecting me to go with a bunch of light cruisers. So I don't know what to make of that, but I'm still not happy with how that started off. Alright, Chaos. This should be a matchup I'm really comfortable with, mainly because Chaos likes to try and play a long-range type of firefight, you would think. And whether they're running away, or, well, even if they're trying to get close to me, I kind of benefit almost every facet, since almost all of the Tau's weaponry is prow-based, or at least turrets that could shoot on the prow arc. And when you combine that with the repair drone, that can be an amazing amount of durability. It's just, again, the light cruisers and them being vulnerable to critical hits, that could be a bit of a factor here. Although, the sad truth of the matter is that we don't get to benefit from the ladder resets. It's a cool idea, and it is kind of randomly given. It's the only thing I believe is probably the only one negative I have about it. Since if you're like a Tau player and you get legendary ranking, it's hard for me to say that with certainty though, since I'm playing like all the factions, but it seemed like I was getting portraits for factions I wasn't even playing. Let alone never got high enough in the rankings, even if I did use them. Now, how the hell do I want to engage? Because I don't really have a lot of defensive points unless I'm way back here. This is terrible layout for me, if I'm going to be honest. I would like a fallback point for the gas clouds. This is not what I like to see, though. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see if I can make something work. I don't recognize this opponent, so I might be okay. Because again, I don't recognize the portrait there either. It's different than what I'm used to. Let's not ram ourselves. That was a bit of a scare for a brief moment. And I can launch a whole squadron of fighters.
Core L ready.
I would like to destroy some point defense. I think that might be good use for me.
How
Since
may I serve the Talbar?
I burnt all my combustion gauge, that's a burden.
The ethereals guide us.
But
You
if
have
I can
seized
kill
a
their point
strategic
defense relatively
area.
well, I can take advantage of that.
At your orders, Koro.
And we'll just have this one frigate grab the point. It doesn't really give much away,
Serve the
I'm
Corvair.
hoping.
For Anva it will be so.
And I did burn all the combustion gauge, which is a bit of overcommits on my part. Just not a good day for me for being on top of everything. But if I can get my attack angles right, especially with silent running
Aircraft
ships,
ready for orders.
I should be okay. I just have no idea what kind of frigates to look out for.
Aircast ready for orders.
And they are, alas, going to get revealed.
Enemy target.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Oh, so you have a Stig, interestingly enough.
We serve the Corvair.
And sadly, that's going to die, so let's just recall it.
Gravitic drive.
I probably should have waited. Well, they're in a gas cloud. That's like the worst place to kind of engage anyway.
L ready. Closing on your position.
No, let's try and get them
Honor the
revealed, I guess.
teachings of Viola.
At your orders, Koro. Honor the teachings.
Alright,
of
Custodian, grab the
Viola.
point. Frigate will start revealing.
Corel.
And I'm a little bit worried about... Oh. Actually shot down all the fighters, surprisingly. That I wasn't expecting.
At your orders, Koro.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
This may not be a
You have
benefit to
seized
me.
a strategic area.
As the ethereals wish.
But let's try and force an engagement of some kind then, I guess.
Underway.
How may
This
I
is an
serve?
awkward angle, though. Especially with the Lance is going to be hitting all these frigates.
Drones have identified an enemy target. For Anva, it will be so.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Aircast ready for orders.
I don't like this positioning very much, but...
Aircast ready for orders.
And sadly I don't have any more frigates to kind of spot these for me, but...
Greater good.
You have seized a strategic
I can
area.
run for a bit. Although I'm about to use up all my combustion gauge, so maybe I can't.
Gravitic drive engage.
The patient hunter gets the credit.
Kill the frigates for me, although being wedged in a sandwich like this is not a good angle.
Core L ready. To spread the greater
So we're gonna have to make this painful really quick.
aircast ready for orders. Honor the teachings of
That's one down.
at your orders, Koro. Gravitic drive to
Alright, let's get out of here quickly. We did a ridiculous amount of damage.
Ethereals guide us.
I don't know where the rest of my ships are. Okay, they're right there, conveniently.
The patient hunter gets
So let's just spread them out, kill off the frigates,
at your orders.
because you know they're about to die.
Crisis team.
And conveniently,
Enemy ship.
we're in a good spot. Maybe not the best angle for my Custodian, but if they're going to continue to pursue it, that's fine.
Backup failing. Red lights on all panels.
Engines are down. That was not a result I was expecting at this point.
Ethereals wish.
But we can bomb this, we can seeker missile something, right?
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
We serve the Corvair.
Alright, kill them off for me.
Gravitic drive engage.
I don't think my seeker missiles are actually going to hit, so let's fire the one at the back.
For Anva, it will be so.
And if only my experimental railgun was available. Alright, kill this off for me. I'm in a gas cloud. That's amazing potential there. Custodian is going to die, but I'm just... The repair drone should still be in effect, right? It's hard to say when it's suddenly taking like 20 different lance shots.
We serve the Korvacha.
But I like to think this is pretty good for me. It's just the morale I need to be prepared for.
We serve the Korvacha.
I'm not gonna... Well, I should execute before it takes any serious damage, with that said. Because I still have bombers for this Grand Cruiser. Now, what's left to do? Well, get in a better position, ideally.
How may I serve the Tauba?
And Seeker Missiles. I should have canceled that mutiny earlier, because I could have gotten a little bit more value. And I think this battle's over. The ram is going to be annoying, but... Gotta watch morale. I did take a little bit of damage, but I think we're good here.
By my set, we shall attack.
Just kill it now. And oh yeah, I gotta remember, these dang frigates have their broadside fire behavior instead of the prow. Which is definitely a bit of an annoyance, since it doesn't allow them to maximize their power.
You have accumulated 50%
Yes, try and ram me.
points.
I dare you to make the attempt. Is it dead? Yeah, it's dead.
How may I serve the Tauba?
I am sadly gonna lose this cruiser. But let me actually try boarding. Even though it may not do a ridiculous amount of boarding, it's still Imperial Navy quality type of boarding. I'm going in kind with the mindset of the Mechanicus. Oh. And having them do such close behavior is a bit of a burden too, but this is over. It was really scary because of me being sandwiched in a corner like that with half my fleet, or a third of my fleet out in the middle of nowhere, but
At your orders, Korvacha.
we're alright.
Calculating.
Just gotta get your fire. You need to position yourself better, because this isn't a very good position for you.
Resetting systems.
Oh, that was the wrong button, but thank God
We serve
it actually repaired.
resetting systems.
Oh, that's why I didn't give it. I told the assist or lock on target, so that's why it's not cooperating as I was thinking. It is slow,
Your orders, Korvacha.
but at the same time we are dealing with a Grand Cruiser after all. The idea is to cripple it and whittle it down. And engines do go good ways to do that. It just may not be the most exciting way to watch them die, because it's almost like watching paint dry, isn't it? Just a wee little bit. But apparently it is effective, to an extent. Since I would argue the Custodian did most of the work and it was kind of running away, wasn't it? Which is why that ship is so damn powerful. And it serves as perfect bait, but losing that engine permanently was not a result I was expecting. I wonder what actually triggered that, if it was boarding or actually a lucky critical hit from a weapon shot. Well, this will be interesting. Necrons. They are incredibly good at dealing with my Custodian, and my Seeker Missiles could possibly get shot down by their fighters and point defense alone. So I almost argue if, depending on the caliber of Necron opponent we're face off against, I'm probably not going to realistically do a lot of damage there until I get the critical hits I want. And thankfully, with them having no shields, every single attack is an opportunity to get a critical hit. What do I need to prioritize though? Normally it would be the deck, I think, to destroy or at least disable the Star Pulse generator, since that's what's really going to be problematic, because my Seeker Missiles, again, Necron rely more on the Star Pulse generator and maybe some of their fighters to kind of deny bombers or Seeker Missiles or torpedoes in general. they don't, even though I mock saying that they were kind of able to shoot down my torpedoes, at least the light cruiser's torpedoes with their point defense, they still have greatly diminished amount of point defense, so it's entirely possible even if they jump out of the way, the seeker missiles could still pursue them. It's only if they're near a gas cloud, like these ones in the middle, that they could just jump into and deny a lock-on. So I don't want to be wasteful. So realistically, I don't know why I have all these ships over here. I don't want to try to grab the point with all my ships, ideally. But I'm just wondering my fallback points. Since I don't really have a fallback point at all the cover is basically in the middle of the map, so I'm kind of going to be trying to go left or right, essentially. Depending where they deploy, depending where most of their fleet is. And of course, mass recall is a big factor too. But I trust that frigate's going to grab that point pretty quickly. Maybe I'll have the speed to get the middle point relatively well. And I never did talk about what the Kaohsiung stance does, at least in this video. Even though it feels like it hasn't been that long since I played with the Tau Kaohsiung fleet. So one ship so far. Who knows what that means just yet. Part of me wants to destroy the engines, because I'm a little bit worried about them coming at me.
How may I serve?
I'm just wondering, how likely is it that we're dealing with a lot of light cruisers here? Which honestly would be a good thing for me, because it's a lot easier to quickly hit them. Alright, that looks a little more reasonable.
At your orders, Koro.
You have seized a strategic area.
Oh, silly me. I overdid it quite a bit on grabbing that. It's going to take an eternity to grab the point anyway, but
Closing on your position.
I need to be mindful of frigates.
The enemy has seized a
I almost
strategic
want to launch
area.
fighters just to kind of boomerang a bit.
The enemy has
I don't
seized a
expect to do
strategic
much, but
area.
at the same time, I don't really want my fighters to kind of go after the capitalist ships anyway, because they're just going to immediately blow up. If I can reveal them, that's pretty useful though.
It will be so.
And once I grab this point, I can easily just run away pretty well.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
But so far, we're looking at possibly 2 battleships.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
You have seized a strategic area.
So I am Scanner Pulse. That don't mean much yet. But can I kill is what I would love to do.
As the ethereals wish.
Okay, so we see a light cruiser. That is a big deal there. Because what does that tell me? Probably a mass recall is in my near future.
At your orders, Koro.
Drones have identified an enemy target.
I would like to think anyway.
Koro, ready.
Now let's try and damage this thing. Destroy a deck is the most important thing.
Aircraft ready for orders.
Especially since it's a built. Yeah, deck's gone, so that's no longer solid running.
Patient hunter.
And I can't scanner pulse, that's the only problem, so it is currently marked, but only temporarily.
Gravitic drive engaged.
How may I serve the Tauba?
And it's not the flagship, so I guess I shouldn't worry too much.
You have seized a strategic area.
What is upgrades with that said? So arc propagator and all that usual stuff. Light cruiser's gone.
The killing blow.
So far so good. Deck's gone surprisingly quick on the battleship. That was not a result I was expecting. Because you know what that means. My seeker missiles are just that much more powerful.
Ready.
I just gotta make sure I pilot the micromanage my ships properly. Because this is going to hurt.
As the ethereals
I'm waiting for my bombers to come back, I'm realizing, but this is going to hurt.
How may I serve the Tauba?
That, ooh, that was a mass recall. That's like
The Tauvar
That's a massive
shall
win
prosper.
for me, I want to say.
The patient hunter
Because the
takes
Seeker missiles
prey.
did their damage. We can grab the points pretty quickly. They are regenerating their hull, though. And actually,
Closing on your position.
I would like to continue doing damage here. Maybe it's a mistake, because they can very easily jump on the Custodian.
Aircast.
Alright, so switch to lock-on stance, try and do damage. I'm expecting Star Pulse Generator to take effect here. So this is going to be short-term. Actually, I should probably just prepare my disengage now.
The patient hunter gets the prey.
And that is why.
Gravity drive engaged.
That was badly timed. They Star Pulse before I even launched the bombers.
Resetting systems.
You have seized a strategic area.
So we got the points here.
Serve the Tauvar.
Can we continue to damage this? Probably not.
Identified an enemy target. At your orders, Koro.
Honor the teachings of Yona.
I would love to hit this thing with some more missiles. The decks backing up are operational though.
How may I serve the Tauvar?
Killing one of these tomb ships would be amazing, but...
To spread the greater good.
And my deck's... Nope, my deck's not gone actually, so I think I'm okay.
Aircast ready for orders.
You have
And I actually want to grab these objectives. That was the plan, so let's group these up a little bit better.
Piltide's teachings guide our fire.
Oh, and I target the engine? That's a little bit silly of me.
Tauvar shall prosper.
I'm waiting for a Star Pulse Generator this time.
Gravitic drive engaged.
I'm unfortunately not going to get the damage I want, but...
Honor the teachings of Yona.
Actually, just destroy the bomber, or the frigate. That's going to hurt their visibility quite a bit. It's sadly not dead.
Aircast ready for orders.
Actually, let's not get carried away. I almost fired Seeker missiles blindly there.
We serve the Kovat.
Now, Kurji's speech, get them all operational.
Spread the greater good.
And I'm getting messages. It's not a good time for that.
The patient hunter.
Either way, let's... Okay, that's fleeing. I want to kill it. Because that's going to be pretty good for my damage potential. Or at least just being able to... I just want to kill this thing. So maybe it can't scanner pulse me.
As the ethereals wish.
Alright, sadly he's going to regenerate a lot of health there, but we aren't really out of it yet. It's just going to be awkward.
Hold your fire.
So let's hold fire, get ourselves repositioned.
For Anvar, it will be so.
At least try to, but it's not going to happen here.
Corel ready.
If I could kill the other tomb ship, that's the main thing. Although,
How may I serve?
it's not going to be very possible at the moment.
For Anvar it will be so. The Ethereals has been lost.
So I might have to play a game of just grabbing objectives at this point.
How may I serve the town?
I just want a little bit more. Actually, I could board that.
Teachings of
No, I can't. Okay, now I can. Sort of.
serve the Korvacha. To spread the great
Let me just play the game of grabbing the points, ideally. I'm losing a lot of morale, but deck's permanently gone there.
aircraft ready for order.
Alright, Kabushi Gauge has taken an eternity to get back up, so a little unfortunate.
The enemy has accumulated 50% of strategic points. You have seized a strategic
But I
area.
think we're in the clear now. Let's just grab the points.
To spread
It was actually really damn promising for me. And now I lost all my main source of doing damage. But I can harass them pretty good. Harass them but not do much else.
at your orders, Koro. The Tauvar shall prosper.
Oh yeah, and the fighters are actually going after
You have accumulated
my seeker
50%
missiles.
of strategic
They did get
points.
shot down, but again, I would love to kill this tomb ship if it's at all possible. And ideally not lose any more ships.
Guide us.
Because I think my opponent's... Yeah, my opponent's spreading out now.
Aircast ready for orders.
This is going to be a while, folks. Definitely a damn good start for me, but it's going to be hard to follow up with them just immediately able to jump. And actually, let me prioritize the engines. That'll help a little bit, too.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Corel, ready.
No, don't go hitting
The
yourself
enemy
yet.
has seized a strategic area.
So you're in asteroid belt, you'll get some max firepower there. And I think my opponent's just going to ignore you for a bit. I don't want to switch stances yet, because I expect you to come after me.
How may I serve the Talvar?
As the ethereals wish.
The plan is still to try and kill this thing.
Orders, Koro.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
It's going to be hard to do though, but it did burn its
Guide us.
inertialess drive. It's just going to take an eternity without
Seized a
bombers.
strategic area.
How may I serve the tower?
And I have a scanner pulse to reveal it.
To spread the greater good.
And secret missiles do a little bit extra damage.
Aircast ready for orders.
As the ethereals wish.
At your orders, Corel.
You know, secret missiles are probably not going to get to do anything that I want them to do. Well, actually, they did some damage, but there's still a lot of health to regenerate.
We serve the Kovadra.
And that's just going to die a slow, miserable death without doing the damage to kind of kill this thing off. Because it's sitting at 400 health and it's taking an eternity to kill.
Honor the teachings of Viola.
I'll reveal that in a moment.
Ethereals guide us.
Alright, Star Pulse away.
The enemy has accumulated 75% of strategic points.
I forgot about this one frigate. That could have been pretty useful, pretty key for this type of match.
Engaged.
Because it could have been grabbing points all this time.
For Anva it will be so.
Actually, let me get turned around. I have about 2 minutes.
Patient hunter gets
Well,
the-
I don't actually have time until the engines get shot down, with that said.
How may I serve the Talvar? For Anvar, it will be
But killing this tomb ship's going to be a big deal.
Aircast
How the hell am I going to
orders.
kill in a timely manner, though?
Gravitic drive to maximum.
That's the only thing I'm trying to figure out right now.
Corel, ready. For Anva it
Because
will
how quickly is this thing regenerating right now as far as health?
Gravitic drive engaged.
Core L ready.
Because I am behind on points. I can grab this objective here. You're recharging.
How may I serve the tower?
And I kind of want to keep hitting this thing.
Closing on your position.
Because again, if it dies, that equalizes quite well.
At your orders, Koro.
Just not a lot else I could do at the moment.
Drive to maximum.
Because I'm going to conceal myself again in a moment.
The ethereals guide us.
I just got to make sure not to burn all my combustion gauge is the problem.
The Talvar shall prosper.
And that was probably a mistake because well, actually it was an objective to be fair, so
We serve the Korvatra
it was going to get shot down no matter what.
as the ethereals wish.
If only I was able to get a little more time shooting this thing down.
Gravitic drive.
Although, it probably helps if I spread up my
The
fleet a
enemy is
bit.
seizing one of your strategic areas. The enemy
Sadly,
is
I'm gonna
constantly
lose this
seizing
now.
strategic points.
If I was aware of that frigate earlier and been a
The
little
enemy
more
has
diligent
seized a
grabbing points, this would
strategic
be
area.
a lot more in my advantage. It all comes down to not being able to kill this thing with the absurd amount of damage I was doing to it.
honor the teachings of
And not having the secret missiles. If I had held them back, then maybe this would have been really good. Oh yeah, and I got the frigate kill, so that's the final nail in that coffin.
You have accumulated 75% of strategic points.
This would be a completely different game. This thing just survived is the sad thing. So what I should have done, again, just have all the ships spread out. That way, just not all my fleet is right away. Kind of in the same situation as, say, with the Eldari. Because having them bunched up there hinders my firepower so much. Because ion cannons can do a notable amount. They just need to be able to constantly fire. Being my armor-piercing weapon and all that. So that's unfortunate. It was so close to victory too.